But I'm not sure how many times concurrently we experience joy and struggle. I'm not sure. And that's where the great people say, the joy is in the struggle and the struggle is in the joy. I'm sure you watched the Argentina-England match. I mean, clearly, at least if you go by the rules of football, it was a blatant violation, brazen violation. No point in talking about it. No? If somebody chooses to be shameless, what do you do, sir? Okay. So you pray, Lord Jesus, please bless that soul. What else can you do? Tell me. Anyway, I'm not a great supporter of any team. I'm a supporter of truth. I'm sorry, you laid down rules, you follow the damn rules. I didn't lay down the rules, you laid down the rules. You follow the rules. You're violating your own rules. So, Dr. Simon, do you agree? For us to follow our own rules is a struggle. Do you agree, brother? Sorry, I hope you got it. It's a struggle. For you to follow your own rules is a struggle. You can't say no. And secretively, if you are alone, you can recall the innumerable occasions you violated your own rules. In your life. I've done that several times. And I'm ashamed. But that's life. So if I come to karma, that's my karma palanga. I perform some karma actions, I'll bear the fruits of that action. And when I do that, I'm holding my dignity. So this is the logic. I hope the broad objective of education is clear. Peace. Within and without. Dignity, grace and honor. Within and without. Struggle within and without. Because you're dealing with yourself, you have to help others. Okay. So within the family it's clear. Because family is a very naturally identified social entity. So we naturally show that love and affection within the family. To a good extent. To a good extent. Of course, I'm going back to a brief conversation Father and I had when we went yesterday evening. See, today, we are living in a different kind of a world where we have come to a state. There was an article just a few days ago that strongly recommending prenuptial agreements between the to-be wife and to-be husband. You understand? You know what's a prenup? A prenuptial agreement. Okay? That means you say, this is mine, this is yours, we'll get married. So after marriage, I protect what's mine, you protect what's yours, and we'll decide about sharing common stuff later. That we will decide. Okay? And we all know that divorce rates have sharply increased in our country. It's a social statistic. You can check what I'm saying. Husband or wife sneezes and the other says divorce because you sneezed. I mean, I may be exaggerating. You understand what I'm saying? It's becoming ridiculous. Because a great married life among anybody, between anybody, is based on sacrifice. And as a person who swears by system science and philosophy, that's my body of knowledge, which I swear by, and I'm very proud to say it is far superior to pure science, whether it's maths, physics, chemistry or biology, whatever it is. And I can show you example after example where even mathematics collapses, system science will not collapse. Okay. Now this is very important for us to understand. So the moment you accept the concept of struggle, you should now latch on to the idea and see how you can enable others to struggle. For what? 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B. And the moment you are a teacher, you're sort of straight away latching on to 3A and 3B. Because it becomes your, if I may use the word, it becomes your dharma, the fundamental principle of your life as a teacher. The guiding principle. Dharma means that which upholds everything with integrity. That's dharma. So all the rules of the universe, all the rules of that you know, everything happens because of dharma. So dharma is a concept. that which upholds, that which sustains. It has different interpretations. That's a different point. Okay, so we start.
In the previous example, you mentioned about karma, and can it be contradicted with the dharma?
Yes, dharma is a principle. Karma is an action that you shall perform once you are a conscious human being.
Would the karma be approved even though it's contradicted with the dharma?
It should not, because the moment it contradicts with the dharma, it becomes adharmic karma. See, you have dharmic karma, you can do a 2 by 2, Dr. Simon. Adharma, dharma, are you getting it? No, it's all right. You got the idea. It's a 2 by 2. You can have karma, which is associated with, hi Rahul, good day. So I hope you got it. Yeah. Dr. Simon, you can have karma, and karma can be latched on to either dharmic or adharmic. For example, I'll give you a specific example. If we are conducting an exam for our students, and a teacher observes that a particular student is cheating in the exam, which has a purpose and a design, which is agreed upon commonly even before the exams were ever founded. Are you getting it? It depends on what you do. See, in my case, there's been no problem because my exam, Rahul is also there. Many of my exams are open book, open notes, open internet. You answer my questions, then we'll talk. I hope I'm not wrong, Rahul. Okay. Both of them were in DOMS IIT Madras. And I would strongly recommend it. That's a very safe way of conducting exams, because you're cutting cheating right at this thing. And today I don't mind. I would even say, later I will share with you, I told father during breakfast, I'll share with you a method by which you can force the students, whether they like it or not, to put skin in the game. As teachers, I'll tell you what to do, and they shall put the skin in the game, whether AI or no AI, whatever it is. Because that right is with you. Remind me in case I forget. That right is with you. Because you are going to qualify that chap or the person later through your exams. So if a teacher under the present system is winking at a clear cheating, now do you agree that action of winking means not winking, you understand what I'm saying, it's a figurative word, is adharmic. You violated your own dharma in that context. So that's the point. So dharma, set of principles which we uphold in our lives, we know them, we can reason to ourselves, what is your dharma? Okay. And itself, in human life, the word dharma itself is connected with another word called rin. Rin means RN with the 2 dots on the N. Rin means your debts. DEBTS. So once you're here, you have some debts. And incidentally, very, very interestingly, your first debt is yourself. To yourself. To transcend yourself. That's your first debt. Okay. In fact, I keep telling everybody, your first dharma is to yourself. Your first dharma is to yourself. Does this mean that you be selfish? No. Does it mean you're self-centered? No. Then what does it mean? It only means be self-caring. Why should you be self-caring? Because only, or if and only if, I repeat, if and only if you are self-caring, you will be in a position to perform your greater dharma, not the first dharma, to care for others and enable them to 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B, 3A, 3C. I hope you got it. How the hell can you help others if you are not caring for yourself? I'm sure you have a very good proverb in Malayalam. In Tamil we say, Suvar irundal dan chittiram. What's the Malayalam proverb? You have to have a wall for a portrait, no? You will have, sir, in India, all languages have common proverbs. Huh? Abba, that's it. See, the same words are almost coming. The logic is clear. It's a metaphor. Yeah. Typically, they advise parents of a child in the flight, in case of pressure drop, oxygen masks will fall from your roof. Please apply the oxygen mask on yourself first and then on your child. because you try stunts, both will die. And at this stage, I'm going to open up a terrific ethical challenge to all of you. You can challenge your students also. It's a very interesting challenge, and it challenges your dharma and your karma. Completely it challenges. It is to tell you that in a worldly context, you don't have clear answers. You don't have precise answers. You can only go with certain faith and intentions. That's all. So being noble is a choice. Being dignified is a choice. And sometimes you are in such a situation that you have to work on instinct. Not necessarily whether you're right or wrong. Right and wrong comes much later. Sometimes you're forced to work with instinct. Forced. I'll give you the situation. This is a famous dilemma. Let's say you're on a boat across a raging river, and the boat develops a hole. River is raging. You are a very good swimmer, and you can definitely save yourself, and you can save one other person on the boat. But there's not one person other than you on the boat. There are three. Number one, your parent. Number two, your spouse. Number three, your child. Who will you save? No, you plus one, I told you. No? You can't save another. Who will you save? By the way, my dear friends, don't break your heads, because there's no right or wrong answer to this question. There's nothing called right or wrong. For everything, you can give a justification. You can give a solid justification. Your mother may say, Appa, you please save your child. Anyway, I don't like my daughter-in-law. It doesn't matter. Okay. But child you save. Are you getting it? So it's quite possible that the daughter-in-law also says he saved the child. Maybe. Our son, you can always marry again. And by the way, this can be reversed to sex also. It need not be only male and female. Are you getting what I'm saying? It can be a tale of true love between two people. It can be a woman who's the great swimmer who tells the husband, please save our child. It can be a man who tells the woman, please save our child, if the woman is the great swimmer. Because you can always beget another child. But this child needs a mother. And you be that mother, because you are the natural mother. Okay. So the mother's or father's position is the weakest here. Because anyway, they are in the last leg of their life. They are going, But the person concerned may take a choice, saying that, look, I am here because of them. Therefore, my debt is to see to it that they live full. So there's no right or wrong answer to this dilemma. You can use your logic. That's okay. And your logic is as good as anybody else's. Okay. So this is very important for us to understand. Fine. So I hope the answers were reasonable, Dr. Simon. Okay, fine. So purpose of education is clear. Okay, fine. 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B, 3A, 3B. That's all. That's the purpose of education. Now, do you agree we have to differentiate between educationally qualified and life qualified? Somebody may hold a piece of paper called a degree and still be uneducated in the spiritual sense of the term education. You hold a degree, all right, fine. There's no quarrel. But what does the degree mean? When we are not able to act, when you're not able to perform your karma properly. Okay. See, incidentally, this is very important. Not acting, not performing your karma is adharma by definition. By definition. You don't perform your karma, you're automatically adharmic. Okay, so this is where the challenge of education comes to us. So I often ask, yes sir, you were wanting to ask something? See, the challenge of education, I often ask my students, I've done this consistently, what is your dharma as a student? And very often the answer is to study. Then I correct them saying, studying is a process. So what is your dharma? Studying is a process to an end. It's a means to an end. What is the end? Then I clarify, the end is learning. That's why we've focused on learning today. The end is learning, acquiring knowledge, playing the game of life as we live. Okay? So learning is that process of acquisition of knowledge, basically. Okay? Fine. Now let's get on to this. If your end is learning, then I challenge the students, where is the evidence to me that you are upholding your dharma? Give me evidence. Yes, you are the student. You have come with the deliberate purpose of getting educated. I'm not going to talk of your degree certificate at the end of 4 years or whatever it is. If it's a PG program, 2 years. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about education. 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B, 3A, 3B. I'm worried about that. I hope that's clear. The other part is economics, biology, history. That's a different point. I'm not getting into that territory. I know you may be good. You may be able to give me evidence. Now this is where we have to start dissecting education in a different way and learning to that extent. Because education is a formal system. I'm talking of the formal system of education, not the informal education that can happen elsewhere. Formalized system of education, institutionalized system of education, where there are clear, what do you call? Program objectives, course objectives, etc. You have them, you've stated them. But you stated them in a context of the label of the knowledge, whether it's business administration or chemical engineering or what, you've labeled it and then you're putting it. But I hope from whatever we have discussed so far, our program objectives and institutional objectives have to transcend those labels. That's a big lesson for all of us today. They have to transcend those labels. You can't stay within those labels, because you could have a qualified idiot coming out. I hope you could have a qualified villain coming out, actually. A curse on society. Okay. I'm sharing this because, please forgive me, I don't want to point fingers just like that, but all of us know, what do you call a person who is a well-qualified engineer who runs his plane into the Twin Towers? What do you call that person? Killing totally unknown people who are not at war with him because of some belief. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me. Same way, what do you call a person who's leading a country who, in order to flush out such terrorists, is killing innocents because the terrorists are hiding among the innocents? What do you call that person? I don't care who you are. I want the terrorist. So if you are protecting the terrorist, or if I deem that you are protecting the terrorist, I have a right to kill you. I don't know what label I will give to such a person. Certainly I will not call such a person a decent human being. So the game of decency has been lost long ago. The game of decency was lost with Cain and Abel. Am I right? Who killed whom? Who killed whom, sir? Cain killed Abel. And the story starts. Okay. Perhaps the game was lost when the apple was bitten also. We don't know that. Perhaps I'm going one step back if you want. It doesn't matter. So you have a struggle here. And I will take you through what I call the game of life that you shall play. No choice. You shall play that game. And I mean it, no choice. So now comes the question, how do we play the game of life? Keeping in mind 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B, 3A, 3B. This is our logic now. I hope this is clear. Okay, fine. Any questions so far? Any doubts or observations or questions so far? Anything you feel is illogical? Yes, sir. I thought you were going to ask. You are like that umpire in the cricket match, you know. No, I thought you were lifting. Sir also put up the hand like this. I was wondering you wanted to ask something. No, it doesn't matter, sir. No, please clarify, because we make our interactions richer only by your inputs also. I'll tell you the reason why I'm saying this is important. All of you would have heard of that famous parable, the 6 blind persons and the elephant. You know, it's a very beautiful parable, which all of us should know. Thank you. Just for those of you, or just to refresh and reinforce for all of you who know the parable, you know the first blind, they don't know an elephant. They've never experienced an elephant in whatever way. Okay. So the first blind person goes and touches the leg of the elephant and says the elephant is a pillar. The second blind person goes and touches the trunk of the elephant and says the elephant is a hose pipe, whatever. The third blind person touches the tusk of the elephant and says the elephant is a spear. The fourth blind person touches the body of the elephant and says the elephant is a carpet. The fifth blind person touches the tail of the elephant, feels. Of course, they have the sense of feeling, touch. They are not able to see. They can hear, they can taste, they can probably smell, but they cannot see. So that person, the fifth blind person who touches the tail, says it's a rope. The sixth blind person touches the ears of the elephant and says it's a winnow. What do you call that in Malayalam? Moram, no? Muram. Same word in Tamil, actually. Okay, Muram. Now answer this question. This is a very important question. Was any one of them lying? None of them was lying. Please note this, it's a fantastic parable. None of them was lying. Each one of them was telling their truth. But did they describe the truth of the elephant? No. This parable's earliest attribution goes to Gautama Buddha. The earliest, okay, whatever little I have access to. And it's a wonderful parable because it teaches us a lesson that even if all of us share our truths, you're still not close to the truth. Even if you don't lie, you're still not close to the truth. So this parable sort of conveys that idea. And the beauty of the parable is, even if they communicate with each other through voice and hearing, their geometric positions and what they are feeling, do you really believe they can mentally model an elephant? Are you understanding the challenge? Even if they communicate their experiences with each other, including their geometric positions, I'm here, you are here, we can sense where we are relatively. Do you think they'll still describe the elephant? No. Herein lies the great truth which human beings should understand. In the human context, you can never ever describe explicitly the truth. You cannot. And this brings to us the biggest challenge of human life. There is a massive difference between understanding something and experiencing something. Understanding and experiencing do not coincide, are not completely intersecting. Experience is very different. Right? The beauty is experience is also unique. You can go back to Ratnakar Valmiki story. Experience is unique. So even if you are experiencing, the beauty is, at least in the parable to 6 blind persons, I can share with you, we are all people with eyes who are blind of mind and intelligence and wisdom. To the extent we are going to tagging on to E.G.O, we have a fundamental problem. You'll fall prey to that fundamental contradiction. They are automatic prey to that contradiction, trivially. So, lot of the education which has to take place has to transcend all this. But is there meaning in that? Yes and no. There is meaning in that because you can probably move towards a more peaceful world. But is it a fact? No, I don't know. Because individual human being seeks differentiation, deliberately seeks differentiation. And once I describe the game of life, you will quickly understand where it is. And this is a good stage for us to understand another thing about education is, we educate our students to prepare themselves for 4 contexts of human life. Every human being has 4 and only 4 contexts of life. No exceptions. Context number 1 is me alone. I'm alone. Nobody else with me. I'm with myself. I can choose to observe myself. I may not choose to observe myself and shall I say, in the words of one of my dear friends, Professor Devdas Menon of civil engineering, a very good thinker, a very good philosopher. He was the designer of the Thiruvananthapuram airport also, okay, and a very keen mind. He said, I may choose to sleepwalk through my life without ever being sensitive to what's happening. I may be sleepwalking, literally. In fact, he was right. Many human beings choose to sleepwalk, through their life as though nothing is happening. Okay? So context number 1 is me alone, where you can observe yourself. But you should question yourself deliberately, am I observing myself? In fact, those of you teachers of emotional intelligence will quickly know that lesson number 1 in emotional intelligence is observe yourself. I hope I'm not wrong. How many of you teach emotional intelligence? Father, do you teach emotional intelligence? Do you agree, Father? You observe yourself, first. Then you'll know whether you're going through some emotion or not. Without observation, nothing happens. That's why in the title I put from observation. You observe. So, me alone. Context number 2, me at work. Right now, all of us are in context number 2, me at work. It's a part of your work. This program is a part of your work and your journey as a teacher. It's an integral part. It's formalized. It's institutionalized. Then 3, me at home. Which means, do you agree at work? With whom are we sitting at work or working along with? You are there. Your colleagues are there. Your superiors are there. Your subordinates are there. Your peer group is there. If it's a business context, your supply chain partners are there. And sometimes your regulators are there. Isn't it? So, it depends on the specific situation where who is there with you. But you are at work. And I want you to note, in all the 4 contexts, 2 of which I have outlined now, Dharma works. You have a Dharma towards yourself. You have a Dharma to the work which you deliberately chose when you signed the dotted line on joining the work. All of us have signed some document when we joined. So you have to uphold what you signed for. You can't say, no, I signed, but I didn't mean it. No, that's not wrong. That's not wrong. Okay. So that just becomes important. Me at home. At home, we are with our family, with our friends, with our neighbors. The social context. Work is professional context, occupation. Family is socio-cultural context. So me in my family. 3. And please understand, your rin or debt is there to you, to your parents, to your grandparents, to your children, to your spouse, to your uncles, to your aunts, to varying degrees. You have that rin, that debt. You shall pay that debt. Don't forget, I said, start paying your debt to yourself first. That's why I said, be self-caring. You need not be selfish or self-centered, but be self-caring. And I also told you why. So that you can perform your greater dharma of caring for others. That's a greater dharma. In fact, it's intimately connected with the concept of synergy in the game of life, which we will talk of. SYNERGY. Okay? So when you play the game of life properly, in a more than your individual context, even in your individual context, your body should be in synergy. The parts of your body should be working together in harmonious manner so that you feel health and wellness. Synergy inside. Synergy at work, synergy at home. But we compromise. And yours truly is also a big compromiser on that. Because of my own stupidity. Fact is, I am stupid. I can't say I'm not stupid. I am stupid, damn it. Except that in 24 hours, maybe my stupidity works occasionally, but it works so precisely and intensely that it compensates for the rest of the time I'm not stupid. That's the truth. Okay? The fourth context, which is fascinating, is me in public. Like yesterday, when Father Gino took me to the St. Thomas Church, Kodungallur, huh? Father? Huh? Another name you get, no? Some Arikod. When he took me to the church, I was fortunate. In fact, he asked me, LSG, do you want to go to temples? I said, yeah, temples enough. I have been to Guruvayur, I've been to, what is that? Vadakanathan temple. You tell me. Said, it's all right. It doesn't matter. If I am not a witness to the commonness of that oneness in this universe, I am the problem, not that oneness. The limitation is mine. It is not that of that oneness. This is very important. So me in public is very important because yesterday at the church we were in public. And what's the beauty of the public? That context is interesting because in public, whether you like it or not, you're observed by somebody, some stranger. You don't know who's observing you, but you're observed. You can't say, don't observe me. You can't. When I'm on a flight from Madras to Kochi, I am observed, whether I like it or not. I don't know who's observing me, when, how long, for what. I don't know that, but I'm observed. So this is very, very important for us. This is what we call as the famous witness principle. There is always a witness to what you're doing. At the minimum, you are your witness. At the minimum, you are your witness. Okay? So me in public. Now comes a fascinating truth, which is a question. Do you agree that all of us can be alone in the other three contexts? You can be alone at work, you can be alone at home, you can be alone in public. Why? Because you can switch off. You can choose to switch off. You can be in your own world, in your own mind. Now this is very important for us to understand. To that extent, you will not be able to focus on what's happening. You won't be able to, because you've switched off. Okay? And this has happened very often at home, between me and my wife. Actually, she'll be saying something and I'll be looking at her. And then after some time, she realizes something is going wrong. And then she'll question me. And then I'll sort of start sulking and say, Lakshmi, what did you say? You know, what was the problem? I'm at home. My spouse was talking to me and my mind has switched off and gone somewhere else. Completely somewhere else. I'm sure this has happened to the best of us. It's not to do with male or female. It has happened to her also. Your mind is somewhere else. And the beauty is physically I'm looking at her. She thinks she's communicating with me. I'm hearing some sound. I know she's talking something. The sound is coming. But did I register? No. Why didn't I register? Because I was not focusing. I was not concentrating. You know, this is the tragedy of human communications. which you must. This is a real tragedy in human life. And the beauty of the human creature, even in me alone, is how sure are you that your communication to yourself is pakka? How sure are you? Can you be absolutely flawlessly confident that your communication to yourself is pakka? 100%. You can't. Nobody can. That is the truth of human life. You accept it. Move on. So that's the struggle now. Now you understand. That's 3A. Am I struggling with myself? Yeah. You have to struggle. Life is a struggle. And some time ago, Dr. Simon asked, it's a joy and struggle. And if you are a very wise person, you'll identify joy in the struggle. Like they say, the journey is the path is the journey. Very wise people have said that. The journey is the path is the journey. So don't seek anything, because you can still be noble with yourself.